I am going with the Atlanta Falcons plus 5.5 at home as a divisional underdog against the New
Keep it
Orleans
ugly.
Saints. Let's keep it ugly. I mean, we went Texans Falcons back to back, so can't get any uglier than that. I think those are pretty much the consensus two worst teams in the National Football League. But we're not betting teams; we're betting numbers, and the number's too high. Like, let's just take everything out of the equation for a second, except we're getting Jameis Winston catching 5.5 on the road. Like, that's absurd. Jameis Winston is 8-17-1 in his career as a favorite. That's a 33% cover rate, failing to cover by just about a field goal per game. And again, you have all the same trends that apply. I won't repeat them, but let's talk about this matchup. You got New Orleans in its first game without Sean Payton. So we don't know exactly what that quality drop is going to be. Sean Payton was 133, 105, and 3, 56% against the spread. The third most profitable coach in our Action Labs database. His teams covered the spread by an average of 1.9 points per game, which is massive over a 200 plus game sample size. Dennis Allen, 14-21 against the spread, 40%. His teams have failed to cover by an average of nearly 4 points per game. So, like, there could be a drop off here. We just really don't know, but that's the point. We're trying to bet on the uncertainty when we're taking the dog here.
Yeah, there's a lot more downside risk than upside potential of Allen being way better than Peyton, which is not going to be the case.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with the timing of this game for both teams. I think just benefits the Falcons. First of all, obviously they're at home, but then you're talking about it's Jameis's first game as a starting quarterback with Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. So yeah, we like the receivers this year, but he doesn't really have chemistry with them. He was on the team with Thomas, but he was not the starter then, and this is really going to be their first true game together. And Thomas was non-committal.
Thomas isn't 100% confirmed.
Yeah, he was non-committal about playing, which is big. When you kind of talk about reasons that you would like the Saints this year, I think Thomas coming back healthy is a big part of that. And by the way, as much as we kind of rag on Atlanta, and they obviously the roster is still not where it needs to be, but their boundary cornerbacks should be pretty good. They have AJ Terrell and Casey Hayward, and Terrell was second of 116 cornerbacks in PFF grade last year, and Hayward was 12th. So you got two top 12 guys out of in the league in terms of how they played last year. I think they can play up to that standard this year. It's just Atlanta obviously. They're not going to get a ton of pressure. They probably should get more than last year, though, because, they got some new guys in there. They got Ubiquity, they got Carter. So we'll see. But then you look at New Orleans. Okay, so you got the new receivers, you got the new coach. Essentially, Jameis, working with a bunch of new guys, and that includes the left tackle because, Teron Armstead is now in Miami. Then you look at the defense, and you got a whole new back end with Honey Badger, but in a kind of aging Honey Badger, and Marcus May, who knows where his head's at. They just traded Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So you're going from Marcus Williams, who's one of the best safeties in the league, a little more uncertainty, and these guys just haven't been together. And then you look at the matchup. Okay, New Orleans, one of the best run defenses in the league year in, year out. But Atlanta is one of those teams that can get running yards unconventionally. They can use guys out of the back at receiver like Cordero Patterson and do some misdirection things. They have all these players that are kind of converted from other positions that they're going to get involved, like Felipe Franks, converted quarterback into tight end. You got Avery Williams, converted cornerback / return man. Now he's going to be in the backfield. And then, of course, you got Mariota, who can run the ball. So it kind of thwarts some of that run defense, which is a big strength of New Orleans. And, to that point, they gave up the third fewest rushing touchdowns to running backs last year, but the second most to quarterbacks. So, and then on top of that, just speaking to the timing, this is week one. And last year in week one, I was fading the Falcons. I think it was the Eagles they were playing. This offense just didn't have anything going for it. But now you got Arthur Smith has some of the pieces and a lot of versatility in terms of the pieces he wants on his offense. So this is the time when I think you're going to see a lot of the kind of unpredictability, kind of similar to what we're talking about with the Vikings, except with Arthur Smith, I think it's going to be even more interesting because like I said, they're just loading up on these versatile guys that can play multiple positions. So, we might see like a Felipe Franks, like reverse touch, like toss pass downfield. We could see Cordell Patterson doing some things. Like I don't even think they need Drake London to play for this offense to be super creative. And at week 1 is when you've shown absolutely nothing. So you got all these things, I think, just situationally kind of working in favor of the Falcons. And you're talking about 5.5 points on the road for Jameis Winston with just so much uncertainty. Like I think the Saints will be a good team eventually, but it's way too many points. And, the trends obviously back that up. Again, 29-9 are divisional dogs since 2014, 76%. And this is why, because people are giving Jameis Winston 5.5 points on the road.
Yeah, starting to see Saints Super Bowl hype. I agree. The value here is with the Falcons. I'll probably join you here. Looks like Drake London is going to play as well. And there's some upside potential with the Falcons defense, which was arguably the worst in the NFL last year. But they have good corners, which is just a necessity to have any shot at having success in today's NFL. But if you look historically at Dean Pease, who runs one of the most unique, complex defenses in the league, usually has a big year 2 bump. They were clearly confused and just nothing was going right last year. So look, his second year there, another off season with some good corners. He's historically in that year 2, his roster really starts to pick up what he's trying to do. And he's really excels when his roster's kind of, all right, we get it, at confusing opposing quarterbacks, which is what you want when you're fading Winston, confusing him into mistakes. So I can see 2:38 p.m. Eastern. I'm calling the pick 6 will come on Red Zone.
Ooh,
the Red Zone will pop up, and the Falcons are going the other way.
Ooh,
Terrell's going the other way.
That just gave me an idea. That's a contrarian DFS play. Like nobody's gonna touch the Falcons, and they're one of the cheapest defenses on the slate. So that gave me an idea.
You got a Jameis disaster game, and could happen.
And remember, it was Peyton last year. Like we don't know the drop off even just from Jameis without Peyton, because Jameis like uncharacteristically didn't really turn the ball over last year in a small sample size, obviously, but they also played hideaway with Jameis. Like he barely threw the ball. So like that, just wanted to point that out. We also don't know what that drop off just with those two is going to be like.
Yep. Yeah, completely agree. And then this game, by the way, is Saints Falcons. You think about Saints Falcons in your head last couple years, 2019, 2020. It's like Ryan, Julio, Ridley versus like Breeze and shootouts, highest totals of the week, right? This is 42. And you're getting, which makes the 5.5 even more valuable in what projects to be a lower scoring game.